Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. Okay, you guys, so for today's video, oh my goodness, I am so excited because summer is coming and the winters are so long up here in Saskatchewan and we just get a brief little snippet of summer and I cannot wait. You guys know that I absolutely love coastal decor and summer decor. So today's video is a compilation of all of the summer DIYs that I did last year. And of course, you guys, if you don't like nautical or coastal or that kind of style, please just watch and you can put your own spin on every single one of my projects. The sky is the absolute limit, and the only thing that will stop you is how far your creativity can go. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this compilation. And with all of that being said, let's get into the first DIY. So we're going to take this little sign that you can get at the Dollar Tree, and what we are going to do, we're just going to pop out that center piece there. It pops out really, really easily, and it always leaves these little, there's some nails that are holding that sign together there. So I just use my pliers and take those out. And then just make sure you get all of them. Sometimes they're stuck actually in the, like here, they're stuck in the thing. And so we're going to just remove that coffee sign. It literally just pops right off. And I'm going to sand down the thingy there. And my ladybug. Oh, poor ladybug. Okay, so these paper straws, I got those at Dollarama. I'm sure you can get them at the Dollar Tree too. I just happened to get these ones at Dollarama. So I used a package and a bit. I'm not sure exactly how many, but if you're going to do this DIY, make sure you buy enough straws. So I'm just measuring them out because we're going to cut them down and we are going to attach them to the back of the frame here. So just make sure they're cut properly to the right length. And then just use the first one as a guide. And there we go. Fancy McSchmancy pants. Okay, so I am using my Rust-Oleum chalk paint. So little disclaimer, I'm using it to paint the sign here. First of all, make sure that you sand your sign down because the frame wanted to repel the paint, like it wasn't sticking at all because there's kind of like a plastic coating on it. So just make sure you sand it down before you paint. That is tip number one. Tip number two, supposedly my Rust-Oleum chalk paint is a bad batch because everyone is telling me that it's usually super thick. Mine is very thin. So don't know what happened, but that is going back to Home Depot. So here we are using my favorite color. It is Nantucket Blue. And I am just painting up all of these straws all the way around. You know, it's chalk paint. It dries super, super fast. Use your heat gun to speed up the drying process and rock and roll. This really does not take that much time to paint all of these up. And now here I am just taking my hot glue, smooching it on there, putting the back of our frame back on, and of course cleaning up the little globs that always seem to form when you put anything together. And then just taking my hot glue, we're just going to put all of our straws onto the back of this sign. I think it looks awesome, you guys. It looks like, I don't know, like a little, you know, piece of wood, or it just gives it so much texture and it's so, you know, interesting to look at. I really, really love this piece. So after getting that all together, I always take a paintbrush just so that I can get rid of all of those little, glue webs that seem to form and plague my life all the time. Please let me know, do they plague your life too? I would love to know that. It's good to know that you're not alone. All right, looks fantastic, Brie. Looks awesome. Get on with it. Okay, so I got these wood cutouts. These are also from Dollarama. I'm just cutting off the edges because they're kind of like, maybe they're ornaments or something. They have a little hole in the stem. So I just cut that off. And again, using my really thin Bad Batch of Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I would like to give this chalk paint a real review once I actually do take it back to Home Depot. So that's my plan. I'm taking it back tomorrow. So hopefully, I'll be able to use it in a couple videos from now and we'll see how it goes. But as you can see here, painting up our little leaves. So if you don't have these particular wood cutouts, there are tons of different wood cutouts at the Dollar Tree as well. So you can use whatever you want. So just taking, obviously, hot glue, smashing it on there. Look how easy this is. It's so easy. And I really love it, you guys. It's like so interesting looking. And so our finishing touch, I'm taking my braided rope that I got off of Amazon. I've used this a bajillion times. This is the rope that I always say is very, very clean looking. It's nice braided rope. And I'm just using my hot glue and going around the inside of the frame. So this kind of hides sometimes like the lengths of each one of the straws, they're not exact, right? So this kind of hides that imperfection and gives it just that really nice finishing touch. And I really like the white and the blue and the natural color of the rope. I just think that it's so pretty. And that is it, you guys. How easy. So I did 2 of them, set of 2. Love, love, love these. Now I'm finally using these cute little boxes, I guess, or decor pieces that you get at the Dollar Tree. And what we're gonna do here is struggle. So these embellishments, you guys, I don't know if they're welded on. I don't know what they're doing, but holy, I could not for the life of me get them off. I used my little scraper thing, and then I used the heat gun, and I used the screwdriver, and I'm trying to pry these up. And then once I finally did get them up, they just completely damaged the top of these little boxes, which is a shame because I really like, that beveled crisscross that's on them. I was going to use them for this project, but it is what it is. You got to make do with what you got, right? And this cloud one was even worse. Oh my goodness. It just came off and it just damaged this box so horribly. So good thing there is a top and a bottom to this project. And of course, just, give it a blast with the heat gun to take off those little labels. Now, you want to make sure that you sand these down on the edges because those little stars and little clouds, they are kind of raised off of the sides, and you don't want to see those through the paint. So sand them down, and then I am going to paint this up with my thin white chalk paint. I gave it 3 coats, inside, outside, bottom, top, everything, the whole shebang. Paint that sucker up. And paint it up. Paint, 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 and bam! All done. You don't need to see me paint for a solid 20 minutes. So I'm just using this little wood round that I got. I'm pretty sure it was from the Dollar Tree. It came in a package of, I think there were 2 rounds, 2 squares, maybe some rectangles. Hearts maybe. And I just painted it up, and we're going to use that to cover up that damage. So I got these square wooden dowels at Dollarama. I'm so happy that I bought a couple packages of these because I have not seen them since. So I hope they come back in stock because they are super useful. And I painted them up with my white chalk paint, and now we're just going to distress this up a little teeny bit using our Parisian Gray by Faux Art. You guys know that I love to use this color to distress. It gives it a nice little light distressing effect. I don't like to go too heavy when I'm distressing. So, like, sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm pretty cautious. So just use that with my little, I think it's called a stencil brush, and that's from the Dollar Tree as well. But it gives it a nice texture and makes it, look a little bit more weathered and gives it more character. Okay, so now we are going to assemble what is going to be a lantern. And we're going to use our E6000. I'm going to put that on the bottom of each one of these little wooden dowels. And then what I'm going to do is take some hot glue, and I'm going to like smush it into the corner, like going up, so that the glues don't mix. So hot glue for the immediate hold, E6000 for the permanent hold. And of course you're gonna get some, globs of hot glue poking out. So just make sure that you clean those up really good. And we are going to do that to all 4 of our wooden dowels here. Again, E6000 on the bottom, and then hot glue up the corner, and get rid of all of the hot glue, that bulges out. And then we are going to, I just used hot glue. This is for the top of it anyways. I wasn't super concerned about putting the E6000. I probably should have, so don't be lazy like me. Use the E6000. And then just taking that circle, I just hot glued that to the top to cover up that damaged portion, and it worked like a charm. So now I'm just finding the center of this little circle here, because I am going to drill a hole right through the top of this. So, measure it up, find the center, grab your, power drill and drill a hole. Yeah, drill that hole. Perfect. And so I have this little wooden knob. I got it, like a whole package of them off Facebook Marketplace. So this just happened to be in there. So I'm just painting that up again with my white chalk paint. I did a couple of coats, probably 3 coats. And then I'm just putting the screw from the knob through the top of our lantern here. And then we're just going to screw the knob on top. Make sure it's nice and tight, and voila. Okay, so I have these little wooden, I don't know what you would call them, like little wood thingies. I got them on Amazon actually, and so I'm just measuring them off because I wanted to give this lantern just a little more, you know, pizzazz. So I measured off a piece and then just using that as a guide, using my miter shears, chopping these all up, and then we are going to hot glue them onto our lantern here. Just about maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch down from the top of the lantern and from the bottom as well. I just eyeballed it, you guys. If you want to measure, you go right ahead, but you know, eyeballing. And I did that to all 4 sides. I legit love how this lantern turned out. It's kind of like beachy looking, you know, and that's kind of my vibe, of course, but it looks so high end. You could pay like 30, 40 bucks in a store for this. And it was like $5. It's so cute. Okay, you guys, I hope that you're enjoying this summer compilation. I just wanted to pop in here to remind you, if you like home decor on a budget that looks super high-end, like you spent a lot of money on it, but you really didn't, then you've come to the right place. So make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, and set your notification bell to all so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. And I just wanted to let you know that my community now has a name. And so from now on, I am going to be referring to you guys as the Breezers. I hope that's cool with you because I absolutely love it. So with that being said, you guys, let's get back into those projects. We're going to take one of these signs that I got at the Dollar Tree, and you can see here I'm using the jumbo popsicle sticks from Walmart. So the one I've already measured to fit inside this frame, and I'm just marking that off with my pencil. You saw that I put all of those popsicle sticks together with some masking tape, and I just used my miter saw box thingy to cut them all together. So I'm just placing them here just to make sure that I have enough, and I didn't. So just cut one extra there and we'll just throw it in. And here, just taking some white chalk paint, we are going to paint the inside of this. It actually took 2 coats to completely cover all of the letters and whatnot. And then I'm also going to paint the entire frame. Now the frame also took 2 coats, and that didn't quite cover it, but I liked that because it gave it, you know, a little bit of a distressed look. It wasn't full coverage over that black frame. And I did the 2 coats in the center. I know that we're going to be covering them up with those craft sticks, but I wanted to be sure that you can see any of the lettering coming through, only because the popsicle sticks do not completely butt up to each other. So, you know, cover them up and make sure you can't see that in between. And of course, we are going to paint up all of our craft sticks here using the chalk paint. I only did 1 coat though on them. That's all really that they needed. And here you'll see this is a still frame. It is a still frame because I lost all the footage of my putting the popsicle sticks in on this frame. So basically, take your hot glue, put it along, put your craft sticks in. You guys are smart. You know the drill. You know how to do this. It's really, really simple. But you get to look at this still frame instead of, you know, the video of me actually doing that. You're welcome. And so I got these rolls of the faux leather at the Dollar Tree. I love these. They are amazing. And this blue is gorgeous. You notice that my veranda is blue, so this leather was absolutely perfect. So what I did is I just measured out a 6-inch square of the faux leather, and we are going to put that in the center of our sign here. And this was a big test. So I used some permanent vinyl and I printed off "Stay a While" on my Cricut. I had no idea how it was going to stick to this leather. I was praying that it was going to work. I had no idea. And check it out, you guys. Oh my goodness. It worked like a dream. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. I was so happy. I was so happy. And now just centering that in the middle of our sign here. And I'm just going to grab my hot glue. Now, I wish I would have only gone around the edges of the leather with my hot glue, but I did this really dumb squiggle in the middle. Don't do that, because then you can actually see it in the middle and it gives it a little bit of a texture. It pops out a little bit. Don't do it. Just go around the outside for sure. But just secure that down. Looks great. Oh my goodness. And then I'm just going to take some thumbtacks here and put them in the corners just as a finishing touch. And I actually did have to use my hammer to pound them in, but they went in no problem. And it just gave it that final detail that just made it look amazing. I love this piece. It's so easy and it is so cute. Isn't it great, you guys? Oh, check it out. Love it. So we are going to take a couple of pool noodles. I got them at Dollarama. There were 2 different sizes there, so it was actually perfect for this project. So you can see the blue one is a little bit bigger. And I'm just cutting them down to size. You can use whatever lengths you want to. I used 2 of the smaller ones and 1 bigger one. So here you can see I got these candle holders from the Dollar Tree. They came 4 in a package, and I'm just cutting out the top there because we are going to set those candle holders into the tops of these pool noodles. So just making sure that they fit. I did have to cut them a few times, fiddle with them and whatnot, but it ended up pretty perfect. And now taking Java by Folk Art, we are going to paint the ends of our posts here. So make sure you get the inside and around the rim of each one of our pool noodles. And taking some of this contact paper from Dollar Tree, they do have 2 different wood grain patterns. This is the darker one of the 2. There's also a lighter one. So I'm just going to cut those down to size. And I wanted the wood grain to go up and down our posts. So just make sure, if that's what you want, to line it up on the right side. And just cutting it down to size here. This contact paper worked like a charm, you guys. It's amazing. But there we go. I was gonna say having some trouble finding the ends. So just peel away the backing there, line up your pool noodle, and legit, you just have to roll it up. This is so easy. See? Like a charm. And do that for all 3 of our little faux logs. And you can see here that I am just trimming off some of the excess that was at the top there. Just using my little craft knife from Dollar Tree. So I'm using these little hexagons that I got at Dollarama. I just want to stuff them into the ends there so that you can't see any of that orange or blue poking through. So I just painted them up with my Java chalk paint, and you can see the orange there, and now you can't. Worked perfect. And now taking some antique wax by Folk Art and one of these little plaques that I got on Amazon. I will link them down below. Hopefully they are still available. We're just going to paint this up and wipe off the excess with our baby wipe. So this is the first time that I am using the transfer tape from the Dollar Tree, and I will say that it did work fairly well. It's very sticky, but it is only single use. Like when I use a better quality transfer tape, I can use it over and over and over again, whereas this one, it is very thin and you can only really use it one time, but it worked. So for $1.25, that ain't bad. So just a quick history lesson, I'm using Pier 21 on this piece, and Pier 21 is like Canada's Ellis Island. So all of our ancestors who came over on the steamships would have gone through Pier 21 in Halifax. So I thought that was pretty appropriate. So just weeding that out, I used the white chalk paint, going to sand it down here just to blend everything in, get rid of any edges from the paint. And voila, looks amazing. And just taking a little bit more of my Java and my stencil brush, just gonna rough it up just a little bit more, make sure everything all blends in and is cohesive. And if you end up going a little bit heavy like I did at the top there with your distressing, that is so easily fixed. You'll see that I will sand that down just so that it blends in a little bit better. See there, it's like it never happened. Okay, so now we are going to take these little candle holders that I got at the Dollar Tree, and we're just gonna smush them in to the ends of our little posts here. I did want to get them as level as possible at the top. And now I am going to take some hot glue and just glue these guys together, all three of them, so that now they're one piece. And now for the twine, we are gonna hot glue this thicker twine. I think I got it at Walmart, or maybe it was at Dollarama. And I'm just going to spin this thing around, wrapping the twine around multiple times, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many you want. And now we're going to take one of these cork trivets that you get at the Dollar Tree, and this is what I'm going to make the base of our project with. So I am going to paint it up with some Java chalk paint and then rough down the edges and distress them. So just taking some hot glue out of frame, of course, I will be gluing the bottom of our noodles to the base. And we're going to take more of that rough twine and do the exact same thing, wrap and wrap and wrap, hot glue every now and then on the bottom. And taking some of this thinner twine, I am going to put that on our little sign here, just on the edges to give it that extra little touch. And now we're just going to secure our little sign with some hot glue on the very top there at an angle, just to give it a little bit of character. And taking some of these seashells from Dollar Tree, just place them wherever you want to. I didn't want to go too overboard with them, but they are such a cute touch on this piece. All right, and put your seashells on, glue them on, and that is it, you guys. Oh my goodness, I just love this. Now, we are going to take one of these embroidery hoops. I'm pretty sure I got it at Michael's. It's a lot smaller than the one that Sammy used for hers, but it was the only one that I had on hand, so it worked like a charm. And I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon that I got at Dollarama and this amazing ribbon that I found at Walmart, this black and white. It just screams beach to me for some reason. I just love it. So we're going to attach the hoops together here and then pull those ribbons nice and tight inside the hoop and then screw it on so that it's nice and snug. So clipping off some of the excess, I'm just going to hot glue that down so that it is nice and clean at the back. And do that on both sides. And it also makes it nice and secure. Now, these half beads I got on Amazon. When I was putting these on, you guys, they are slippery. So I had such a hard time. You can see they're flying all over the place. I'm trying to set everything up, make sure I have the right amount of beads here. And man, they were slippery. So we are just going to hot glue each one of those. You see, they're flying all over. And I was getting so frustrated. They just kept on flying all over, but I think I got the right amount, so we're good to go. So again, we're just gonna hot glue them all the way around on the top of this little wreath that we're making, and taking some white chalk paint and my chippy brush, just going along, giving it, you know, a semi-good coat, not a great coat, but you know, I didn't mind if some of that natural wood was shining through. And taking this metal hello sign that I got at Walmart, and I just hot glued it right to the ribbon there. So these starfish, I've actually had them forever. The blue one came in like a pack of potpourri that I got a bajillion years ago. And the other one, I think I might have gotten it at Walmart maybe a few years ago. I don't know. I have them around my house as well because I live at a beach. So of course I would have starfish, you know, in my house. And so I am just going to hot glue those down onto the embroidery hoop there. Make sure they're nice and secure. Oh, isn't it cute? Oh my goodness. Oh, I just absolutely love it. So taking these little, I guess they're roses maybe, I got them at the Dollar Tree. I just wanted to use some of that greenery because it reminded me of like, it looks like seaweed. So I just kind of placed it on the sides of the starfish there, just grabbing some pieces and hot gluing them down. And just making sure that they're nice and secure. And my big head's in the way again. But you see how it kind of looks like it's seaweed? Like, I love these. It's perfect. And that's it, you guys. Like, this is so easy. Thank you so much, Sammy, for the inspiration. Oh my goodness. I just absolutely love it. It's so cute. Check it out. Now, these wooden planks I get at Dollarama. I am going to cut off the bottom here. Snap. Magical. Because I only wanted to use 3 of those slats. So I'm just taping down the hanger, the twine hanger there, just so it doesn't get in the way. And I am going to paint the whole thing up with my white chalk paint. So, and if you don't have a Dollarama, you can absolutely make this out of those wood planks from Dollar Tree and some painter sticks in the back, like super, super easy. I'm just lucky that we have them at Dollarama and I don't have to do that. So now I'm just taking my Parisian gray from Folk Art and I'm just distressing just a titch. Again, always giving it that little extra touch, a little bit more dimension, making it look a little weathered. And now this napkin, again from Joe, it is so beautiful. And I got this little jar from Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to, again, take the first 2 plies of the napkin off of here, like the white plies. And we are going to measure it out on this jar. So I just rolled it, like super simple, not really difficult, you guys. Just roll it up, kind of, mark it off to where, it kind of ends, and then rock and roll, cut it down. So again, with our Mod Podge, you can see the thickness of the layer that I do use on there. Like, it's generous, but it's not crazy because you don't want to completely saturate the napkin so that it tears. So you can see here, putting it on nice and straight, dabbing it down. Don't rub it really hard because you will definitely tear the napkin. Trust me, I've done it multiple times. And again, just, going around, putting the Mod Podge down, tapping the napkin down all the way around our cute little jar. Like, isn't that napkin so gorgeous? Joe, seriously, thank you so much. You sent me some beautiful things to work with. And so I also put some Mod Podge on the bottom of the jar, and you can see here I'm just kind of folding it down, putting some of the Mod Podge over top to secure it and kind of smooth it, using my fingers, smooching it down, you know the drill. And then I do blast it with my heat gun to help it dry just a little bit. And it also, when like the Mod Podge is almost dry, it's a little bit easier to tack down to the glass as well. It's kind of like eyelash glue. You know how you have to kind of wait until it's a little bit dry and then you put your lashes on? Kind of the same concept. Okay, put another layer of Mod Podge over top, and then I am just going to put that hanger back onto the jar. So now I'm taking one of those little hooky things. What do they got? Eye hook, I believe. And I just marked the center of that top plank there so that I can put or screw the eye hook into the top plank, because that's what the jar is going to hang from. And then I just kind of pry it open with my pliers out of frame. and hook the jar on and then pry it back with my pliers, and there you have it. How simple is that? And now taking some of these, what are they, fairy lights, I think, from the Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna thread that through the bottom seam there, like the bottom space there, and then stuff it into my jar so that the jar lights up. It's gonna be so pretty, you guys. And I just hot glued the battery pack to the back. Make sure that you are hot gluing the side without the screw so that you can actually change out the batteries. And because the battery pack is sticking out a little bit from the sign, I use some of those tumbling tower blocks just to, you know, make up for that on the back so it sits flush on the wall. And that's it. Like, look at that. Oh, I can't wait till you see it all lit up, you guys. Oh, it's so neat. And using one of these wooden drawers from the Dollar Tree, we're going to use the bigger box from that set. And these longer craft sticks that I got at Dollarama. And we're going to take our antique wax by Faux, and we are going to completely cover this little box. I swear, these are my favorite things, these boxes. I use them a ton, and they're such high quality, and oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless with these, you guys. So taking that antique wax, covering all the sides, the inside, the outside, everywhere, and then wiping off the excess with the baby wipe. Works like a charm. Now we're going to use the white by Faux, and we're going to paint up 20 of these long craft sticks. Make sure you get all of the edges, front, back, sides, everything. We want really good coverage on these craft sticks. And kazam, you guys, just like that. Okay, so just lining these up, 5 per side. I didn't measure, I just kind of eyeballed it. You can see there that the box is a little bit off center, and there is a reason for that. So just lining up the craft sticks, again, like I said, 5 per side, and just hot gluing them down. Now you can see there that the opening of the box is on the shorter side of the craft stick. So that's what's so amazing about what I've done with like my little twist, I guess, on this project, is that you can use it as a planter on one side or like a candle holder on the other side. So you'll see those in the reveal photos when I'm all done. But I just love how it turned out. Oh, and you guys know, nautical and coastal, it is my jam. There, all done. Starting to come together. So taking this Cascade by Faux, beautiful blue. And we're taking one of these anchors. They're from the Dollar Tree. They come in a package of, I believe it's 2 anchors, 2 sailboats, and 2 ship helms, like the steering wheels. And they're just adorable. I just love them. So I am painting all of the sides, all of the front and the back. And just make sure you get into the nooks and the crannies and all of the edges. And taking some white chalk paint, we're just going to dry brush a little bit of this white just to bring out those edges and give it some dimension and some character and just bring it to life. It makes such a huge difference when you do this, you guys. And now this is a roll of macrame cord that I got on Amazon. I'll link it down below. And we're just going to wrap that macrame cord around the anchor just a few times here. Again, just to give it that extra detail. And I probably wrapped it maybe 4 or 5 times. Looked like 5 times. And just hot glue it down, cut off the excess. Oh, just gives it that little touch. It's perfect. And now you guys know, if you've watched my videos, I use this braided rope all the time. It is beautiful. I will link it down below. It's from Amazon. It's just a really nice, clean rope. And so just wrapping that around a whole bunch of times, as much or as little as you want. You can use a different twine if you want to. You can use the rough twine. You can use the macrame cord. Like, you can use whatever you want. And so we are going to put a little bit more of the macrame cord, just put it through that loop there, and then we're going to tie it around the top. Now, again, this can be a planter or a candle holder. So I didn't want to completely attach it to the project. So when you flip it upside down, you just take that off and then you can put it the other way. Super easy. Isn't it great, you guys? Oh my goodness. I just love it. Now this one is for my brother, Sean. He's one of my best friends. And we're gonna take this bottle decor that I found at Dollarama. It's very cute by itself, but of course we're gonna spruce it up a bit. So I just removed the hardware from it. That is a bottle opener, and then I just took the hanger off of the top. Sanded it down so that the paint would adhere a little bit better. And we are going to use white chalk paint by Rust-Oleum. I ran out of my folk art white chalk paint, but this works actually really, really good. It's the first time I've used it. So just paint it up. I did give it 2 coats just to make sure I got good coverage. And then I am going to use my Antique Wax by Folk Art, and we're just going to make this look like wood. So using our chippy brush and making sure that you get those really nice brush strokes in there to make it look like actual wood. I do twist my brush every now and then just to give it something that looks like a knot in the wood as well. I love this technique. I honestly think it just legit looks like wood. And make sure that you get the sides, bottom, everything. Come on, girl, paint that thing up. All right, and so now we are going to take some Mod Podge and seal this baby up. This is the hard coat Mod Podge. So I did 2 coats of the Mod Podge just to make sure it was nice and sealed. Now we're going to take one of these cutting boards that you can get at the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to give this a coat of the antique wax as well. Just paint it up. And I printed this decal off on my Cricut on my 813 stencil vinyl. And I'm just using my white chalk paint to dab on the stencil. And it's so funny, you guys. This is perfect for my brother, for real. It says barbecue timer, and then it says rare, 1 beer, medium, 2 beers, and well, 3 beers. So it's actually perfect. And just weeding out that vinyl. Isn't it satisfying? Love it. Again, I could watch vinyl being weeded all day. All right, so I took the bottom of a heart that I got off of a Valentine's Day sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just tracing the top of this beer bottle because I wanted to make a cap. And it's really, really easy to cut if you have this kind of galvanized metal just hanging around from other projects and whatnot. So again, just traced it out and I cut it out with my scissors. And this is exactly why we don't throw anything away, because this metal was legit just sitting in my scrap pile. So, and it worked out absolutely perfectly. It was the perfect size. So yay me for keeping my garbage from other projects. So I'm just finagling with it a little bit here, making sure that it's nice and straight. And then I am going to use some super glue to adhere this on. This metal and hot glue don't really go well together. I will put a little bit of hot glue just for the immediate hold while the super glue sets. But make sure you have a different kind of glue other than hot glue for your metal. And just like that, our bottle has a cap. Isn't it cute, you guys? Oh my goodness, I'm so in love with this. It's so great. There we go. Now just taking some twine and just finishing off the bottle cap there. I just wrapped it around a few times and hot glued it in the back there. And just taking my long reach match and just burning off all the little hairs on that twine. Now I have this mason jar just sitting around. This is like a medium-sized mason jar, I would say. And what we're gonna do, this is going to catch the bottles that fall after, or sorry, the bottle caps that fall off when you use the bottle opener. So just drill in some holes in there, and we're just going to secure that little mason jar onto our sign with some twine. My poor ladybug, she has a band-aid. She's busted. She is looking busted. And I just take some masking tape and put it around the end of my twine so it's easier to thread through those little holes that we just created with our drill. Wrap the twine around the jar a few times and then do the same with the other end. And then we are just going to just flip it over and adhere it with some hot glue. Tie it, adhere it with hot glue, tie it again, make sure that it's nice and secure. So there we go, our little jar is nice and secure. Perfect. Now this little raw wood sign I got at Michael's like a really long time ago. I have no idea what I paid for it, but it was perfect for this project. If you don't have something that's similar, then I'm sure you could find a piece of wood or use a sign from the Dollar Tree. And I I want to adhere or to secure this bottle really, really well onto the sign. So I did drill a couple of holes, grab some longer screws, and then use that bottle opener as hardware to actually attach our bottle to the sign. And then I got these hooks from the Dollar Tree, and I think they come in a 4-pack for $1.25, so that's pretty sweet. And I'm just drilling some holes in here just so that I can get those screws in so that we can attach our hooks onto this wood sign. So these are going to hold our barbecue utensils. My brother's gonna love this. Oh my goodness. I don't know how functional it's actually gonna be, but you know, it'll be on the side of his house, hanging by the barbecue. And now we're just going to take the little sign that we made out of the cutting board and adhere it to the larger sign with some E6000 and some hot glue. E6000 is for permanent hold. Hot glue is for the immediate hold. Just smoosh it down there, and there we go. And I just decided to finish this off with some nylon rope from the Dollar Tree. It's in the automotive section, so are those hooks. So we're using some manly stuff for these manly DIYs. And I'm just gluing that all the way around just to finish it off. And that is it, you guys. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this, and my bro is totally gonna love this too. So great. So, taking this artist's palette from the Dollarama, I believe, and what we're going to do with it, we are going to water down some of the white chalk paint, and we're going to do a whitewash. So, just mixing it up, and we're going to put it all over this palette. And I will also take a baby wipe and just wipe off the excess, make sure it looks like it's whitewashed instead of painted white. And just make sure you get all the edges and the sides as well. And of course, you guys, using the Parisian gray, we are going to distress this little tray. So grab my chippy brush and go over the entire thing, and then also sand it down a little bit to make it look nice and distressed. Doesn't it look great? Oh, love it. And now we are just going to measure, because I am going to put some holes in the sides here for the handles. So I ended up using, it's 4 inches in on each side, and then I will be using my power drill to drill those holes in. And just be sure to use a drill bit that is big enough so that you can thread some of that nautical rope through. And here I printed off this stencil on my Cricut, Beach Vibes, and we're going to use Nantucket Blue to fill in the words of the stencil. This blue is gorgeous. I am going to be using it all summer long. It is amazing. And now taking Oatmeal by Folk Art. This is for these starfish. So again, dab a brush, dab, 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 dab. Now I lost the footage, but I did use a chippy brush just to dab some of that Nantucket blue onto the starfish as well. And now we're gonna take some Mod Podge just to seal the bottom of the tray and all the corners and the sides. Now this nautical rope that I found at the Dollar Tree is amazing. It's so beautiful. And what we're gonna do is we are going to hot glue it all the way around the edges of the tray. And taking that same nautical rope, we are just going to thread that through the holes that we made with our power drill, pull a couple of knots nice and tight, and then we have handles. And you guys, that is it. So easy, so cute. I love it. So I'm taking one of these wood rounds that I got off of Amazon. This is a 12-inch, and just using some of my Cascade by Folk Art, I'm just going to paint this up and wipe it off with a baby wipe. And taking some painter's tape, I am just lining it up on my mat so that the lines are parallel, and we're going to tape off the spots where we are going to paint on this little wood round. Again, just lining it up using my mat and making sure that the paint tape is down securely. So the middle stripe and that teeny stripe are going to be black. So just grabbing my black chalk paint, and we're just going to paint that up. And this chalk paint covers so well, you only need one coat of this. And now for your viewing pleasure, removing the painter's tape. Nice crisp lines, love it. Look at that. And I decided that I wanted to do one more stripe at the very bottom, and that one is going to be white. So just putting more painter's tape down, and we'll paint it up. And I did end up doing 2 coats of the white just to get really good full coverage. And ta-da! Does it look great? Oh, loving it. Okay, so taking my Cascade, we are going to paint up one of these helms. They come in a package from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint the middle of it. We do not have to do the back, and we're going to paint the ends of the steering wheel, I guess, with our white chalk paint. And of course, taking our chippy brush and just putting that across the whole thing just to bring out the edges. You see how it just pops when you do that little bit of distressing? Amazing. Now we're going to take some of this twine and we're going to wrap it around each arm of our little helm here. So put some hot glue on, and we are going to wrap around every single one. super easy, you guys, and it just gives that touch. This is the twine challenge. Isn't it cute? Oh, it's so cute. I love it. I love it. All right, and we are going to put our decal down. I just used some white vinyl here, and it says, "Welcome to Lake Life." All right, this is going to be the worst bow tutorial you've ever seen in your life. Trust me, if you want to learn how to make a bow, go to other YouTubers. So basically, I just took this wired ribbon from Dollarama, made a quick bow, wrapped it around with twine in the center, and there you have it. And taking some of this black and white striped ribbon that I got at Walmart, it screams nautical to me. I'm just wrapping it around, taking some tails, and then I am also going to wrap some twine around the center. And just make sure you floof your bow and make sure it's all secure there. So I am going to also attach them with the twine together, like the wired ribbon and the black and white ribbon, and just tie them up. And then we'll just secure them down to our wood round with some hot glue. And now we're just going to make a little hanger. So I'm just threading one bead onto a piece of twine, and we're going to tie a couple knots around it so it's nice and secure. And then we will hot glue that to the back of our sign. These wood rounds are fairly light, so hot glue is more than enough to keep them hung up on your wall. So we'll just glue down the bow, glue down that little ship's wheel, and then we will also put a little bit of twine around the top of that black stripe just to give it that extra little touch. And you guys, that is it. It is so easy. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this compilation of coastal decor and that you're as ready for summer as I am. Now, as always, if you like what you see, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, you know, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye, guys. Yes. Check out these earrings. They're humongous. Snazzy. I need a haircut, you guys. Maybe, should I lighten it up? Should I lighten up my hair for this summer? Just give it a little bit of, you know, zhuzh it. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Should I go lighter? And with that little snippet all done, let's get back into those projects. You know, I will say, one thing about being on YouTube is that I definitely get some negative comments. And I actually got one of the meanest comments that I've ever seen on one of my videos the other day. And all of my negative comments, it's so crazy. They're always personal attacks. So I want this place right here to be a place of love and creativity and no negativity whatsoever. So, thank you so much for everybody who leaves me your beautiful comments. I can't even tell you, it keeps me going. It keeps me motivated and it means the world to me. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to anyone who wants to leave something negative down there, I think that hurt people hurt people. So I feel for you, and I hope that you have a better day. And to everybody else, I love you so much. Okay, so for today's video, we are going to smash out some nautical. Yeah. Nautical is my jam. It's my jam. And you guys, I just want to say, Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Duck face. It's a Star Wars Day. It's my favorite day. My favorite day.